Hi guys. So today is all about this little guy here who really needs a haircut. Say hey Bosco. He ain't in the mood. So we are going to be making Bosco's dinner for the week. And let's just get into it because he is so just over it. He is not the camera type. You in the camera today? You want to stand up? Say hello to everybody. Say hello. Tell my name Bosco. I'm Bosco. And they gonna make my dinner tonight. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so I home cook for my dog. Yes, I do. And I know people are gonna say, oh my goodness, that's expensive. No, it is not. It's actually, I spend less for his meals now than I did when I was buying those bags of dog food for him. So I also like the fact that I am cooking it so I know exactly what's in it. You read the things that are on those bags and you can't hardly pronounce it. So you guys know I always talk about being healthy and I'm not all about these chemicals and this, that, and the other. Not that I'm vegan or anything like that. No, no, no. But I just try to ease away as much as possible. I'm not out here in my backyard planting a garden. No, I still go buy vegetables. But I do try to stay away from the things that have a lot of chemicals in them. Okay? So I am going to show you how I cook for my doggy. Now, all of the things that I use, I always look up to make sure that he can have this in his diet. My dog is a purebred miniature Schnauzer, and they have issues with certain food items. They can't have pork because it gives them pancreatitis. They have a lot of things that are with their diet that they just should not ever have. So I try to look everything up and make sure that everything that I put in is something that he can digest and that will treat his stomach correctly. So I got y'all here in my little tiny kitchen and let's get with it. So I always start with broth, just for, you can't season it. They can't have seasonings or anything like that. So I get the organic broth, sometimes beef, sometimes chicken, sometimes vegetable. It doesn't matter. And this one is bone broth, and it is beef bone broth. So this one is one of the organic ones. It doesn't have any sugar in it, zero sugar, and it's a little less sodium. So just so he can have some type of flavor, because I do not give him gravy and things like that. The bone broth is my base. And I cook for a few days. I don't cook for a month because then it's just frozen and it's just not the same. So I did try to do long-term cooking for him, but at the same time, I prefer it to be fairly fresh. Okay, so today he is having, well, for the next 4 days, this is a 4-day meal for him. Breakfast and dinner. He does not get lunch. He is so fat right now. I need to cut out breakfast. He is ready to be on animal edition of my 100-pound life, and he is supposed to be a miniature dog. So I have cut out certain things of his diet. I used to use some noodles. You can put noodles in. Different, noodles give it a little filler. But like I said, he has gained so much weight. And not really from, the filler. He gained weight because I was off portioning. And he is a greedy guy. So the off portioning and him being so greedy whatever you eat, whatever he eats, he just gobbles it up. I don't even think he tastes it. He gobbles it up and then he goes and lays down. So I have lessened his portions. I have also taken out his carbs. He used to get bread sometimes. Sometimes he would get brown rice or a noodle, depending on what I picked up. It may have been egg noodles or egg white noodles. But I have since cut that out because of his weight gain. So now, right now, he's just on veggies and meat. Veggies and meat, yes. Because he got to get that weight down. Listen, he can't fit in his carrier anymore to get on the flight. He is way overweight. So the carrier is for a 22 to 25 pound dog. He is at 30 pounds. And that's heavy for a miniature dog. He's not the smallest. He was also the biggest in his pack. He was much bigger than his parents, actually. So this, I just get the bone broth to simmer. I have already cleaned and rinsed his chicken. These are chicken thighs, boneless chicken thighs. And I do not clean every piece of fat off because I do want some type of, oil to generate and flavoring for him. So I start off first by boiling the chicken thighs. Chicken thighs, boneless chicken thighs. And I let that get done almost to the point of done. And then I have my vegetables ready. Now, I get both. I get frozen vegetables, fresh vegetables. It just depends on what's going on at the grocery store for me. So for today, he has sweet potato cubes. And they are the fresh ones, but they are fresh packaged. So he has the sweet potato cubes. I got frozen carrots because the carrots take a little longer to soften down. So I have to cook them longer, and these are just easier. So that was just convenience. He has chopped kale, and that is frozen as well. Convenience on that. And butternut squash cubes. So we will let that chicken simmer until almost done. There's plenty of bone broth in there, so that's what it will stay in. Once I pour it into the holder, the bowl that it will hold it, the container, that gravy or juices will go in there. That is all the gravy he gets, is whatever comes from the meat and the bone broth. The vegetables, again, I wait till it's almost done because the vegetables get done much faster. But I did want to show you guys the vegetables, and we'll put those away until the chicken is ready. Now, also, I give him some that he does not get chicken every day. Like I said, this is for 4 days. And then after that, he'll get a ground beef. And his ground beef, which I buy, and again, it's the Schnauzer health issues. They can't have a lot of fat. The fat harms their bodies. They are prone to a lot of health issues. But believe me, they are such a smart dog, so loving. And I try to take care of him as best as possible. So he gets the 93.7 to keep down the fat. And I know you say, oh my goodness, that's very expensive ground beef. But at the same time, the ground beef breaks down so well that will be probably 5 days, and he won't get the whole package. I'll cut the package in half, and he'll get half a package cooked with vegetables and things of that nature. His bone broth, all of that will be cooked in together, which the 93.7 creates very little oil. So I don't fill the pan with the bone broth. I just put a little bit in the bottom just so it can have something to cook in. And once it's done, then I pour the ground beef into the bone broth, into a more hearty bone broth, and add the vegetables and let them simmer together like a soup. So he has a really healthy diet. Again, the bag products have so many chemicals in it, and I want to do whatever I can to give my baby a long life with, not so many health problems. Now, as I said, I look up all his food, and when you look up your dog's food, whatever kind of dog, whatever breed of dog you have, you should always put their name in that search. So I ask, like with the kale, I typed in, can Schnauzers eat kale? Because, again, they have so many health problems. They're not a sturdy dog like a pit bull. Pit bulls have less health problems, and, they might not have as long of lifespan as other dogs, but their stomachs are pretty much cast iron. So you should look up, if you have a Maltese, put that in that search so that you can get the correct information, because other dogs can have pork. Schnauzer should not have pork. So that's why I always put their name in the, what breed of dog it is in the search for them to give me the correct information. And you will find out there are things that your dog can and cannot have. Different. I had a pit bull. I love pit bulls. I had a pit bull before, and he was allergic to rice and flour products. He would get rashes. So I made sure to cut out the foods that had that in there. Or, he couldn't have any carbs really. So always look up whatever, if you're going to cook for your dog, look up what you're cooking, so that you can make sure your dog can have it. You don't want any incidents where you got to rush them to the emergency vet. They are really expensive. Okay. So, again, good meats. He gets salmon. He only gets salmon maybe once or twice out of a week. And that is because, you get the salmon steaks, and it's not like you get a gigantic amount of them. So he does not get a lot of salmon, and it's not good to give them a lot of salmon. Although it's one of the more healthy ones. Tuna is not good for Schnauzers. They say give very limited tuna. So he does get salmon. He gets beef. Not only ground beef, he gets the the stew meat that's already chopped up. I usually buy those, and I stew them with his vegetables. So vegetables are really good for dogs, but you still should look them up, because there are vegetables that you shouldn't give dog. Corn, no dog should eat corn. Really, we humans shouldn't eat corn either. But look up whatever it is that you're going to put in that pot for your dog, so that way you don't run into any problems. I always get the chicken that's already skinless and boneless, deboned. I do not give him bones like rib bones, steak bones. Only the soup bones, the big giant soup bones, he can have those. But that is what I do for my puppy. And we're going to come back after this is simmered. I'm not going to hold you hostage. We're going to come back after this is simmered down and it's time to add the vegetables. And I like to do this early because it needs a chance to cool off. Again, it's not like he's a grown man where he can eat a hot plate of food. So it gives it a chance to cool off if you do it a little early. And if you are doing this, just because I don't freeze doesn't mean you can't freeze. Okay, the food can be frozen. Let it cool down to a good room temperature, then you can put it away in your bowls, your pre-measured bowls, and or you can just, I say don't put it in there like in one thing, because then you have to defrost the whole thing. But you can do those little food bowls and get some pre-measured ones and freeze them and take them out daily. So that way it is fresh frozen. You just cooked it and it's fresh frozen. Again, I travel a lot, so preparing bulk food is not good because we have to pick up and go so often. So it depends on your lifestyle. It may make it easier for you to get off work and, you know, grab a bowl out of the refrigerator or the freezer and microwave it down for a few seconds. That's another thing. Once it's cold, you can microwave, you know, to warm it up. I usually do 30 seconds just to break down the oils that have solidified in the food. So I'm not heating it up to be a hot plate, but, you know, solidified oil gives everybody problems, you know, digestive problems. So yes, I refrigerate it, but it does get, when it's time to serve it, I put it in the microwave for between 30 seconds to 1 minute, depending on what it is. The ground beef usually needs about 45 seconds because it gets so, you know, solidified. But again, with the 93.7, you'll find that it doesn't have as much oil as most others. You know, like the 85.15 or the 90.10 even. So, but again, that is something that I do because I know the health problems of my dog. So you should look up what you need to look up to, you know, cook for your dog. Cook healthy for your dog. So we will let this simmer and I'll be back to talk to you more about what vegetables I am using. All right, guys, give me a minute.